Hi everyone, it's Elliot here. I hope you're all having a fine day so far. This video is going to be a bit of a first for my channel because I'm not going to be talking about films. I'm going to be talking about books. And you're probably asking yourself, why now? Why are you going to be talking about books now? And that's because this past weekend, it was Black Friday weekend, and I happened to pick up a whole load of books, 12 of them in fact, for some very, very cheap prices, and I thought I might as well show them off to you guys on the channel. I was actually out of town this past weekend while Black Friday was happening. I was down south in Oxford visiting my sister for her university winter ball, which I was kindly invited to, and I got to dress up in a really nice fancy suit. I'll include a picture in here somewhere. But while I was down there, I couldn't resist spending some money while Black Friday fever was happening, so I picked up these 12 books for some incredible prices. Now, I appreciate that all of you guys might not be into reading and collecting books all that much, but do stick around because some of these books do concern films, so they may end up piquing your interest. Before I get into it, I'll quickly show you all of these books in one frame, just so you get an idea of how big my reading backlog is now going to be. And here they all are. Geez, these are a lot heavier than they actually look. I hope they don't fall on me. But yeah, I'm going to run through these for you guys right now. The first book on this list I actually did get for full retail price. It's the only one I didn't get for really cheap. But I'd been meaning to pick it up for a while now, and it is Save the Cat, which is a book about screenwriting and all about the conventions of screenwriting. And it's meant to tell it in quite a real talk fashion, not in a textbook manner. So I've been dying to pick this up, so I'm going to get through this very soon. The rest of these titles were all picked up for £2.50 each, which is insane value, considering I'd have bought most of these for full retail price anyway. The first of these is I Am Legend by Richard Matheson, which is obviously what the film is based on. But aside from the intriguing story, I wanted to pick it up because it's part of the SF Masterworks series, which is a series devoted to the finest works of science fiction storytelling. And I tend to pick these up anyway for full price, so at £2.50 it's an absolute steal. I read a couple of these this year. I read The Affirmation by Christopher Priest, and I've been reading Roadside Picnic by the Strugatsky brothers, so I will always pick these up, and at this price I'd have been crazy not to. Next up is another book on the SF Masterworks series, and it's Flowers for Algernon by Daniel Keyes. And this is a book that tons of people had recommended to me, and they actually said they got so emotional that they broke down crying when reading it. So that really intrigued me. So this is next up on my reading list. Here I've got What We Talk About When We Talk About Love by Raymond Carver. This is one of his really famous short stories, and I'd been meaning to read some Carver for a while because I've never read any of his works. And the reason I wanted to pick this up is because this is the story that's being adapted for the stage in the film Birdman. And Birdman is a film I really love, so I was very keen to pick this one up, especially at such a cheap price. So as I was going into these bookshops, I knew I wanted to pick up some collections of short stories. And these next two books are exactly that. The first one is a collection of war stories edited by Sebastian Faulks. I think it's mostly World War I stories, but I think there are some World War II ones in there as well. So I'm excited to get through those. And the next one is The Whisperer in Darkness, which is a collection of H.P. Lovecraft short stories, including famous ones such as The Call of Cthulhu and The Dunwich Horror. So I'm excited to get through that as well. This next book is actually a textbook for a film studies course, and you're probably going to think me really pretentious for picking this one up, but it sounded right up my street. It is Genre, Myth and Convention in French Cinema between 1929 and 1939. And I appreciate that this probably sounds more dull than watching paint dry, but I thought I'd pick it up because if I find a few new films from this, it's going to be worth the very cheap price tag, so why the hell not? Next up, I've got The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out of the Window and Disappeared. And this book was actually recommended to me by the girl working in the bookshop when I asked her for some recommendations. And I thought, why the hell not? It sounds darkly comic. It's about a 100-year-old man telling stories about his past. And there's actually a film adaptation of this as well in the Swedish language, so I'll check out that film after reading this. Here I've got The Z Murders, which is one of the British Library crime classics, and I love reading these because they're just pulpy, throwaway stories that are very much of their time, and I thought, why the hell not? It's £2.50, I'd be crazy not to. And here I've got Nocturnal Animals by Austin Wright, which was originally called Tony and Susan before the film came out. And the film I actually loved. I gave it 5 stars on my channel, so you should definitely check the review out. But yeah, I'm looking forward to going through this just to see how it was adapted from the page to the screen. The penultimate book on this list is The Box by Gunter Grass, and I love The Tin Drum by Grass, and I thought I'd pick this up, especially because it's this nice hardback version, and for a cheap price, why the hell not? This last book I thought I'd save till last because it is a serious one, way more serious than the rest of the books I've just been through, and it is Reefer Movie Madness, the Ultimate Stoner Film Guide. And I couldn't resist picking this up, especially when I flicked through it and it had a load of films that I love in it, such as The Big Lebowski. So yeah, probably the best book on this list, to be honest. And there you have it. That's my Black Friday book haul video. I hope you guys have really enjoyed it, and if any of these books have piqued your interest, don't forget to let me know in the comments below. Remember that if you like these videos and you want to hear about them as soon as they go up, don't forget to click that subscribe button below. I'll be back with more videos very soon, certainly ones on films, but perhaps some more on books if this gets some good feedback. But until then, I'll say goodbye everyone.